Good morning. It's Monday morning. Beautiful, brisk fall day. I hope everybody's had a wonderful weekend. There should be an interview that I had with Eric Brandt up on Pound Sand today. I saw part one was up. Yes, you can talk. It went a long time. I want to address two. There are several things that I disagree with Mr. Brandt on. You may notice that it wasn't a very rancorous interview. I respect Mr. Brandt's right to free speech, and I respect his right to have his particular opinions. And while I may not share them, I fully support his ability, his right to get those opinions out there and to try to move the political needle, as it were. There's two things that I really pretty strongly disagree with him on. The first thing I disagree with him on is jury nullification. Does it exist? Yes, it does. Should it exist? I personally don't think so. There are lots of ways for leniency in the law. There's pretrial diversion. There's also, some states have diversionary programs that you can go into after you've been found guilty. That if you complete their little requirements, then it is as though, I think they cut off the sentencing portion. So if you complete their little diversionary program, you never get sentenced, and it's as though you never were found guilty. The judge has leniency in sentencing in that he can give, typically a statute would be like, the penalty for an offense could be up to a year in prison and up to $1,000 fine or whatever. And the judge may just order you to pay a $1 fine. Or he may give you a suspended sentence or time served. I mean, there's lots of different ways that the judge can show leniency. I don't believe we need juries to second guess lawmakers, to second guess the public at large as to what should or shouldn't be a crime. I also don't believe that that Mr. Brandt's examples of how jury nullification has led to change are actually true. Like, I don't think that prohibition was ended because of jury nullification. I don't think jury nullification played any statistically significant part in it. I could be wrong, but last I checked, it was a constitutional amendment that was passed by the majority of states. It wasn't done by jury nullification. I think the Fugitive Slave Act was done away with through another constitutional amendment. That would be, the 15th Amendment, I believe. I think the 15th Amendment is where you can't own people. Anyway, my point is, I don't necessarily think it's a good thing for the jury to determine what laws should or shouldn't be enforced. There are enough safety valves in the system. The second disagreement I have with Mr. Brandt, he seems to simultaneously hold the position, fuck the police, And at the same time, he wants it's going to be pocket time. This one's too early. You guys are going to get pocket time out of this one. That's delightful. And with pocket time over, we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. Mr. Brandt simultaneously holds the position that fuck the police, they're evil, they're tyrants, power corrupts, police have power, police are corrupted by it. And at the same time, he wants the police to spend more time in the law library so they can more effectively act as a on-the-street judge, as it were. He is pushing police discretion, I think, further than it warrants. Police do have fairly broad discretionary powers. Like, say, for example, with a ticket or a ticketable, a citation, they can choose not to enforce it. If you're going 56 and 55, the officers can say, you know what, that's not something I really care to deal with. I have better things to do, bigger fish to fry, what have you. And they can go on their merry way. But as you start working up the chain of crimes, from citations and moving your way up into misdemeanors, the public should become more and more dissatisfied with police who choose to not enforce the law. And rightfully so. Misdemeanor is something that is, in the eyes and the hearts of the public, is something that is much less desirable to have occur than a citation. The example that was given was if a cop sees somebody pissing behind a dumpster, the cop should just let that guy go. Essentially giving the officer the ability to nullify laws just at will. I don't like this particular law, so as an officer, I'm not going to enforce it. I don't think that's what the public wants. The public has that law in place for a reason. And if the public doesn't like that particular law, the public has within its power the means to rid itself of that law. I think that's one of the things we are seeing with the prohibitions against marijuana. That is enormous. I don't know if you could see it. It's a giant trailer and a giant RV. That is a semi. That's about the biggest RV. Somebody is serious about living on the road, I guess. I was going somewhere with this. Yeah, the prohibition against marijuana use. We're seeing states legalize it. Oh, he found a stick. Good times. And it's a long one. Fantastic. Oh, he's broke it already. Go, buddy. Go, buddy. As more and more states decriminalize marijuana, I think eventually it will get to the point where there is, thank you, there is an, ow, you little bastard, where there's enough But there are going to be enough states in favor of it that their senators and their congressmen, representatives, whatever, are going to vote to remove the prohibition on marijuana, and sooner or later the president will sign it into law, and there you go. That's the appropriate way to do it. That's the way it's supposed to be done. Oh boy. Excitement, yes. But I find it amusing and somewhat contradictory that at the same time you think power corrupts and you still want to invest more power in that police department. It's contradictory. It confuses me. It is illogical. I agree that power corrupts. I disagree with the level of corruption. I don't think that most police officers are corrupt. And yet, at the same time, I don't want to give them any more power in terms of deciding what is or isn't, what should or shouldn't be enforced. If it's a misdemeanor, I expect it to be enforced. If it occurs in the presence of that officer, I expect it to be enforced. Anyway, that's really all I had about that Brandt interview. He's definitely a talker. It's a pretty entertaining listen, I think. Your mileage may vary, of course, but I think it was a good talk, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I don't know. See you tomorrow.